Oi, meu nome é Daniel, eu sou professor de Linguística da UFSC e eu estou legendando vídeos do professor Jan Blommaert, que é professor de Linguística da Universidade de Tilburg, na Holanda. O professor Jan tem postado vídeos sobre diferentes aspectos do funcionamento da linguagem no canal dele, e eu acho que seria interessante o público brasileiro ter acesso a esses vídeos com legendas, enfim. E é uma forma também de divulgar o trabalho excepcional que o professor Ian sempre fez. O vídeo que vocês vão ver é um curto vídeo em que ele fala de um aspecto fundamental do trabalho de um outro grande linguista e antropólogo, que é o professor Michael Silverstein, que infelizmente nos deixou este ano de 2020. O professor Michael Silverstein foi aluno do Roman Jakobson, que é um outro grande linguista, e ele é autor, ele criou uma série de conceitos fundamentais para o estudo da linguagem em sociedade, como a noção de ideologia linguística, noção de indexicalidade, metapragmática, que vem da sensibilidade muito grande que ele tem de entender a interação, de entender a linguagem em funcionamento e de entender a coprodução da linguagem e da cultura. Então, vocês vão ficar agora com o primeiro vídeo do professor Ian e em breve eu postarei mais. Obrigado.
Way. So it's with great sadness that I'm engaging with the following. What I believe is that over the next few years we will see a massive reinterpretation or recirculation of the many foundational and defining new notions that Michael designed and circulated, in the 80s and the 90s and afterwards as well. Now, I will not be very active in it, but I would just like to point out the one thing that for me represents Michael's influence, not just on my work, but I think on the entire, let's say, world, the paradigm of engaging with language in society. And that's his notion of the total linguistic fact, the total linguistic fact. Now, Michael was encyclopedic as a linguist. He had an unbelievable knowledge of any grammatical system, any theory, and any method of description of the form of language. But throughout his work, he would argue, that it's never alone, right? And that the form of language, all right, always goes hand in hand with the ideology. And one or more ideologies that control and in many ways also render meaningful the form. And not just that, all of this again would be encapsulated in a live context, a live social, cultural, political, and what have you, historical, say, process. And so here we have a notion of language, which of course is infinitely richer than that of linguistics. Language for Michael was always a laminated sort of thing, all right? A lot more than just a word that has a meaning. The distance from word to meaning, all right, represented the entire analysis you had to do. And that was complex analysis because the object itself was never simple. Even a simple speech form like a pronoun, right, or an inflection in a verb, right, had to be analyzed as the total linguistic fact. Now this made very simplistic ideas about how linguistic form relates to meaning useless, and invited us, towards a range of new approaches which in my view redefines sociolinguistics as well as discourse analysis, and in fact brought them together very, very closely. In his own work, you can see the best examples of that when he engaged, notably the second half of his career, when he engaged with political language, political discourse. That's why you see the glory, but also the complexity and the richness of the total linguistic fact. Try to think about it. It kept me thinking for over 2 decades, and it was very, very fruitful. Thank you very much.